What's up, guys? We're gonna be looking at more Paradox Pokemon today. Make sure you guys shank that like button. Let's do this. We're gonna start off with 90. First one I want to show you is of Screamtail, but from the future. Here's Screamtail. The fluff turns into this thing behind its head. Here is a future version. Imagine if in the DLC, like one or two of the other versions Pokemon you get in your game, especially if the machine turns out to be a dream machine. Imagine it could just create one like this. You see how good this Jigglypuff is? What happened to Donphan? It's like every other Paradox Pokemon from the future actually got a normal face. Why did this happen to Donphan? Screamtail is a fairy psychic type. Maybe this is like pure psychic. Y'all know me. Screamtail is my favorite Paradox Pokemon. This would be so sick. I also showed this one to you guys. This is a Paradox Iron Valiant, but from the past as well. It's a fairy ice type. What name would you give it? Like roaming Valiant? Roaming Hunter? That's the only thing I can think of. I'm not too worried about getting like a future Roaring Moon, but the past Pokemon are where these things get me. All right, we got to go back to playing games. Here is Fake Mans. Another strange creature has been found in the Scarlet Book. What could it be? What do I see? I see a Ho-Oh, but I obviously a Paradox Ho-Oh. Nah, they can't do it. I see like the feathers. I see a giant beak. You got like a Cortex head. All right, I'm gonna say it's a Paradox Pharaoh. Oh goodness. Okay. Whoa. So the Pokemon is Dubious Club. It's a flying ground type, and it is a Paradox Farfetch. This is it. I love that we can take unevolved Pokemon and just make them look badass back then. Man's even dressed in caveman attire. Hey, you can imagine it, right? You're going into Area Zero, you're going to some new place in the crater, and you just see these dudes walking around. Imagine they see you and they chase you like super fast with like some foxy sound effects. God, imagine Pokemon like looking for you. Like they like turn the corner and stare at you. They're like checking crevices. Hey, when I go into the crater in the DLC, make these Pokemon creepy and hunting you. I want to be like beat to death by this thing. That would make me very happy. All right, here is Zyto Mega. So this is a Paradox Pokemon. It is from the future. The name is called Iron Throne. And this is its description. The pilot never develops past its infancy. It cobbles together a protective suit resembling its genetic ancestor. The suit allows it to survive a war-torn future. This is one of the coolest takes for a future Pokemon I've seen. It is a Paradox Kangaskhan. You see, the future Pokemon, they don't change much. This one looks like a Kangaskhan. But the catch is that that's not a mother. That's a suit. It's piloting a giant Kangaskhan. Iron Throne? You go, man, in your throne. It's even in a protective casing. It is a fire normal type, and as you can see with it breathing fire blasting out of its cannon, it'd probably somehow be a special attacker. Here's another one. The silhouette, it's hard to mistake. But, you know, unblur this part. It looks like it's a keychain. This thing would be like strapped to a pole when you go into the convenience store. This thing look like a bike lock. This mysterious creature appears cased in plastic. It presses the buttons on its front display to communicate and broadcast soothing signals to observers. And it is Iron Pocket, a future Chansey. So it's still a nice... Oh, did it just lift its ears up? It's got speakers. It's a freaking Tamagotchi, man. It presses the buttons to communicate. It's pressing those. What happened in the future? What scientists put money into this? This is the invention that screwed the future up. When the world was about to end, they funneled all their money into a scientist that could save everything, and he made the Iron Pocket. Now, what kind of ability would this thing have? I feel like it have an ability where it always goes last, but it's like accuracy's doubled. All right, let's move on to Unduragon. Here is the silhouette here. It is called Jungle Parish. Jungle Parish inhabited the planet during the time of the dinosaurs. Oh, when looking at Jungle Parish, you can notice its clear resemblance to Venusaur, but some scientists denote its relationship with Toxapex. This is what I wanted to hear. Though it does say it's actually two Pokemon, and a Toxapex parasitically on a Venusaur. But what you can do with these Pokemon is link ancestry. For example, if there's an ancient Pokemon that looked like the ancestor to Butterfree and Vivillon, and it was described as such. Using this Paradox gimmick, you could explain stuff. The back of the Venusaur is like a Toxapex, but the front is its old frog self. Check this one out. You could maybe identify the silhouette, but it is called Depth Fear. Depth Fear was dubbed a marine plague. At the slightest provocation, it would attack other Depth Fear, and you would imagine they eventually fought each other to death for the most part. It is a Paradox Dragapult, and they are in the ocean. This is a sick backstory to tell the Dragapult. Dragapult being a ghost type and the end of its tail looking a little spirit-like, you always wonder if it had a living version. Alright. I don't think you'll even be able to tell what it is at this point, but have your mind go. It is called Iron Blaster. It was developed by different engineers in order to create a deadly weapon for warfare. It has a signature move called Plasma Cannon, which is an electric solar beam that takes a turn to charge, but if electric terrain is active, it goes immediately, which works perfect because it's a future Pokemon. It's a water electric type, and it is a Blastoise from the future. That is one of the sickest designs I've seen for a future Pokemon. And it works. It's in the realm of Game Freak making them look like their present self. It's got 009 written on its barrel because they've been making a couple versions of these. Its front two legs don't seem to be connected. This is logically the perfect thing they would do with Blastoise. They already got cannons. If they found these fossils of Blastoise or a couple survived and they had to modify them, this is exactly what they would do. Now, this is purely coincidence, but this isn't the only Iron Blaster out there. Let's go back to our boy, Bobby Boy. Here's a silhouette of it. This one is a take where instead of Blastoise having this big cannon that we pull some Dr. Octopus magic and it's floating above its head. Here is Iron Blaster from the future. It is a water dragon. This Pokemon is possibly related to an object mentioned in a paranormal magazine as a war machine. So there's two ideas here. Do the people in the future modify them based off something in their DNA? Like, is there some dragon elements in Blastoise that they tapped into because it'd be able to benefit from it? Or did they just add stuff on top that they thought would fit? So they made Volcarona that fire poison type because that's what they thought it should be. Is that why they gave this man this dragon cannon? That is so sick, by the way. This might be one of my most favorite designs. See, Blastoise normally in games is standing up. It doesn't go on all fours. This one looks like it's ready for carnage. It's on all fours. He got the portable sink. He's washing dishes. He can still wash your dishes. Designs like this make me understand why Sarantor would turn crazy. If I read these in a book and these were apparently real somewhere in the world, I'm going there. I'll turn crazy. Which is actually what my next video is about. It's about what Area Zero might really be with some proper proof. There's some weird things that line up with something in real life that may suggest that Area Zero isn't actually a crater, but something else. And the aftermath is this crater. And I'll talk about it tomorrow. So make sure you guys shank that like button. Let me know your own Paradox ideas in the comments, and we'll do this again sometime. Take care.